What happens when the owner of a successful business decides to step into the shoes of a regular customer? Sometimes the truth isn't easy to face. Let's find out. Lucas Miller was a self-made man. Growing up in a small town, he had built his life from nothing. With hard work, honesty, and a vision, he founded Miller's Bites, a fast-growing chain of affordable, family-friendly diners. The goal wasn't just to serve food, but to create a place where people felt valued. Lucas believed in fairness, treating employees with respect, and always going the extra mile for customers. Lucas wasn't just the face of his brand, he was the heart of it. His employees admired him, and his customers trusted him. But as the business expanded, Lucas began to notice a shift. Complaints about poor service and high prices trickled in. At first, he thought they were isolated incidents, but the reports kept coming. Something was wrong. Instead of relying on reports or managers, Lucas decided to see things for himself. One quiet afternoon, dressed in an old jacket and faded jeans, Lucas walked into one of his diners like any other customer. The diner was buzzing with activity. Behind the counter stood Greg Harper, the shift supervisor. Greg had been with the company for over a year. On paper, he was competent, but Lucas had noticed discrepancies tied to Greg's location. Lucas sat at a corner booth, observing. A server handed him a menu, but Lucas noticed the prices were higher than the ones listed on the company website. Suspicious, he ordered a burger, fries, and a soda. When Greg brought the check, Lucas's heart sank. The total was nearly 30% more than it should have been. Politely, Lucas questioned the bill. Greg smirked. "Oh, prices went up last week. Inflation, you know." Lucas didn't argue. He paid and left, but took the receipt with him. That evening, he reviewed the records. There hadn't been a price change. Greg had lied and pocketed the difference. The next day, Lucas called a meeting at the diner. Without revealing his identity, he posed as a senior investigator from the company. Greg looked nervous but denied any wrongdoing. Lucas presented the evidence: altered receipts, fake price increases, and missing cash. Caught red-handed, Greg apologized. "I made a mistake. It won't happen again, I swear." Lucas saw potential in Greg despite his actions. Everyone deserves a second chance, Lucas thought. He decided to give Greg another opportunity under strict supervision. The diner's policies were tightened, and Lucas hoped for the best. For a few weeks, things seemed to improve. Greg appeared to work harder and followed the rules. Lucas began to believe his gamble on Greg was paying off. Then, one evening, Lucas received a call from a trusted employee. Greg had been seen taking cash from the register. Furious but calm, Lucas returned to the diner the next day. This time, he confronted Greg directly, revealing his true identity. Greg was stunned but defiant. "So what? You think you can control everything? I'm just trying to survive." Lucas's voice remained steady. "Surviving doesn't mean stealing. We gave you a chance to change, but you chose to betray our trust again." Greg said nothing, his defiance melting into guilt as the weight of his choices finally seemed to hit him. Lucas sighed deeply, knowing what had to be done. "I built this business to give people opportunities, not just customers, but the people who work here too. And I wanted you to succeed, Greg. But trust is everything in life and business. Without it, there's nothing left." With those words, Lucas officially terminated Greg's employment. The atmosphere was heavy as Greg gathered his belongings and walked out of the diner for the last time. As the door swung shut behind Greg, Lucas turned to his team. "I don't take pleasure in firing anyone, but this isn't just about one person, it's about all of us. Every person in this diner deserves a workplace where trust and integrity come first. Without that, we can't thrive together." The staff nodded, some appearing relieved, others inspired. The incident was a wake-up call, not just for them, but for Lucas too. After Greg's departure, Lucas resolved to take a more hands-on approach to his business. He revamped the training programs and introduced a mentorship initiative, encouraging employees to share concerns and ideas directly with him. He also implemented systems to ensure greater accountability, including surprise visits and anonymous feedback channels for staff and customers. But Lucas didn't stop there. He made it a personal mission to remind his team that mistakes could be learning experiences, if approached with honesty and a willingness to change. Months later, Lucas heard that Greg had moved to a different city. Rumors suggested he had taken a job at another diner. Lucas hoped the lessons Greg learned at Miller's Bites would stick with him, but he had made peace with the fact that some things were beyond his control. For Lucas, the experience reinforced a lesson he had always believed. Success wasn't about avoiding failure, but learning how to handle it. He poured his energy into rebuilding trust with his employees and customers, ensuring that Miller's Bites lived up to the values it was founded on. Customer reviews improved dramatically. Employees were more engaged and motivated. And Lucas, he rediscovered his passion for the business he had built from the ground up. Sometimes difficult decisions are necessary to protect what matters most. Trust is fragile, and while second chances are important, they must be earned. By leading with integrity, Lucas didn't just save his business, he inspired a culture that would continue to thrive for years to come. That's the story, friends. I hope you enjoyed it. It was a pleasure sharing it with you all. Don't forget to comment below and let me know where you're watching from. It's always fun to see the global reach of these stories. And if you haven't already, please hit that subscribe button for more amazing stories, tips, and tricks. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye. If you'd like to show some extra love, tap the 3 dots near the share button and send a super thanks.